It's a very difficult question to answer, simply because where we are, we've never not farmed organically, even though we weren't certified right from the off. We've always, for example, we've never used herbicide. Um, and so, yes, it's true that we have seen a change having left that and having come away from using the example of herbicide, which is obviously not an organic process. We have noticed a change in the wines coming away from that, but using it year on year and vinifying it year on year is difficult to say, never having done that. I remember reading somewhere before we set up, I think it probably was, another vigneron who had spoken of his experiences in terms of a change in character of the wine, and change of mouthfeel, and change of presence of the wine once he'd come away from using herbicides. And that was something I remember that fascinates me, and it's something that we have seen as well, in terms of texture, in terms of freshness, in terms of perceived acidity and minerality in the wine. That to me has been very intrinsically linked to us not using herbicide at all. So that's a very concrete example of how things have changed since in the time that we've been there and working these vines in a different way, because you have to bear in mind that when we took these vineyards on, they'd generally be 100% weed killed. And so the concept of a living soil beyond the absolute bare minimum, is used as just a substrate for making grapes, as opposed to any concept of ecosystem, of exchange, of life in the soil, and that being anything beneficial. We're taking this effectively dead creature and reworking it. So I think above and beyond that, there are issues of flora and fauna that are difficult to quantify, but important in the conversion process and in what we do. It's very gradual as well. We're talking 10 years down the road, and during that 10 years we had 3 years of drought, and so I'm sure the effect of if you work vineyards that have much greater rainfall, for example, the process is probably accelerated, in terms of soils coming back to life, simply because they have a greater tendency to regenerate where we are down south. Even when it's not droughty, it's dry. And so, it's not a kind of linear conversion by any stretch of the imagination. Beware what you create. Its arms are long.